us on the programme. We now move on to the Middle East, where rescuers in Gaza say an Israeli airstrike has killed 9 children belonging to a married pair of doctors in the southern city of Khan Yunis. Gaza's Civil Defense Agency reported that the children of Dr. Hamdi al-Najjar and Dr. Ala al-Najjar died in the strike, with the parents and son seriously wounded. Let's take a listen in to what the niece of Hamdi al-Najjar had to say.
Uncle's wife, Dr. Ala Amin al-Najjar, she's a doctor for the children. She treats children, and in a moment, her daughters and her sons, with her hand died. Yahya, Sidra, Luqman, Sadin, Rival, Jubran, all of them died between his hand. She left the hospital, walking on her leg, reaching to Khizan al-Najjar.
Footage from the aftermath showed rescuers recovering charred bodies from the family home. Israel's military has said that it is reviewing this attack that killed 9 of the 10 children in Khan Yunis. In Tel Aviv, Israeli protesters rallied once again, calling on the government to secure a hostage deal and end the war in Gaza. Demonstrators held signs and chanted slogans demanding the release of captives still held by Hamas since the October the 7th attack. Let's listen in to some of the protesters' comments.
This government must go away. I think everything else will be better than this government who does such a damage for all of us. Israelis, Palestinians, all the area. It's just...
We want the war to end now, because we see no future to this process. We see that the war will not lead to the release of the hostages, and that it will bring more death, more misery on both sides, more soldiers to be killed.
In a related development, Israel is investigating multiple cases involving its own soldiers allegedly forcing Palestinians to act as human shields in Gaza, a practice the Israeli military says is strictly prohibited under its orders. In a statement, the Israel Defense Forces confirmed that several investigations have been launched by its military police criminal division, following reports that Palestinians were coerced into participating in military operations, including being sent into buildings and tunnels to check for explosives or armed fighters. The announcement follows a report which cited testimonies from both Palestinian civilians and Israeli soldiers. According to the report, the use of Palestinians as human shields has come widespread during the conflict. Meanwhile, Malaysia's foreign minister has condemned what he called atrocities in Gaza, following the international community of double standards and difference to the suffering of Palestinians. Speaking at a regional ASEAN meeting, Minister Mohammed Hassan has said the violence reflects a breakdown in respect for international law. We stay in the Middle East now, where 9 al-Qaeda members were killed in US airstrikes on southern Yemen, as stated by a Yemeni security official. The strikes hit mountainous areas of North Khabar al-Marwasha in Arbian province on Friday night, a known hideout for al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, also known as the AQAP. A local leader is believed to be among the dead. A tribesman at the site described seeing charred bodies and a burnt-out vehicle. Initially, 5 militants were reported dead, but the toll rose to 9. According to updated information from security sources, the AQAP was once seen by Washington as al-Qaeda's most dangerous branch, formed in 2009 through the merger of the group's Yemeni and Saudi factions. The group has thrived amid Yemen's civil war, which began in 2015 between Iran-backed Houthis and the Saudi-led coalition supporting the internationally recognized government. Earlier this month, the US agreed to a ceasefire with the Houthis, ending weeks of American strikes triggered by Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping. Despite recent calm, US counter-terror operations against the AQAP continue, with targeted strikes in remote areas of southern Yemen. The Yemen war has killed hundreds of thousands and left millions in a humanitarian crisis, despite a UN-brokered truce in 2022 that reduced major fighting. We stay in the Middle East. Damascus has announced a major overhaul of its interior ministry. The move comes after the United States and European Union lifted long-standing sanctions on the war-torn country. The new structure includes a modern civil security force, a citizens' complaints force, and a new border body to tackle drug and human smuggling. This restructure marks a shift towards transparency with a strong focus on combating the Captagon trade that has flooded the region. Embassies are reopening, tourism police are being deployed, and the government is promising to respect international human rights standards. Meanwhile, US Syria envoy Tom Barrack met interim President Arem al-Shara in Istanbul. He reaffirmed Washington's support for the Syrian people and said the sanctions lift was aimed at strengthening the fight against ISIS. President Shara also met Turkish leader President Erdogan to discuss regional security and counter-terrorism cooperation.